Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture series on leadership. Now in this lecture, we will be quickly going through situational approach. Now if you remember, during the lecture, we discussed that situational leadership is a perspective approach to leadership that suggests how leader can become more effective in many different types of organizational settings involving a wide variety of organizational groups. Now, this approach provides a model that suggests to leaders as how they should behave based on demands of a particular situation. I'll again repeat, as the name of the approach implies, the situational approach focuses on leadership in situations. Now, the premise of the theory is that different situations demand different kind of leadership. From this perspective, to be an effective leader requires that a person adapt his or her style to the demands of different situations. Now, we can say this in brief that the essence of situational approach demands that leaders match their styles to the competence and commitment of the followers. Now, guys, effective leaders are those who can recognize what followers need and then adapt their own style to meet those needs. Now, looking at the situational leadership model, which is right here, which is called the Situational Leadership 2, it classifies leadership into 4 styles. As you can see in the diagram, we have S1, which refers to high directive and low supportive. Then we have S2, which is high directive, high supportive. S3 is low directive, high supportive. And S4 is low directive, low supportive. Now, the model describes how each of the 4 leadership style applies to followers who work at different levels of development. Now, from D1, which is low in competence and high in commitment, to D2, which is low to some competence and low in commitment, to D3, which is moderately competent but lacking commitment, to D4, which is a great deal of competence and high degree of commitment. Now, the point that we need to clarify here is that effective leadership occurs when the leader can accurately diagnose the development level of the followers in a goal situation, and then he or she can exhibit the prescribed leadership style that matches that particular situation. Guys, you need to understand that leadership is measured in this approach by using a questionnaire that asks respondents to assess a series of work-related situations. I'll again repeat that leadership is measured in this approach by utilizing or by using a questionnaire that would ask respondents to assess a series of work-related situations. Now, the question or the questionnaires provide information about the leader's diagnostic ability, his or her flexibility and effectiveness. Now, they are useful in helping leaders to learn how they can change their leadership style in order to become more effective across different situations. Now, quickly going to the main strengths of situational approach, I would definitely state here that the first thing that we need to understand as its strength is that it does recognize, or it is recognized by many as a standard for training leaders. Number 2, it is a practical approach which is easily understood and easily applied. We also see that this situational approach sets forth a clear set of prescriptions for how leaders should act if they want to enhance their leadership effectiveness. Similarly, situational leadership as a strength also recognizes and stresses that there is not one best style of leadership. Rather, leaders need to be flexible and adapt their styles to the requirements of the situation. Now, all what I have just stated, you can have a look over here and you can refer your books for further details. Now, unlike or like all the other leadership theories or styles we have, there are certain criticisms that basically go along with situational leadership. Now, this criticism of situational leadership suggests that it has some limitations. Unlike many other leadership theories, this approach does not have a strong body of research. And when I'm referring to strong body of research, the findings do not justify and support the theoretical underpinnings on which it stands. Now, as a result, there's ambiguity. Uh, there's confusion and ambiguity regarding how the approach conceptualizes certain aspects of leadership. Uh, Likewise, it is not clear in explaining how followers move from developing levels to developed levels. Neither it is clear on how commitment changes over time for followers. Now, without the basic research findings, it's very obvious, and it's something that we need to understand, that the validity of the basic prescriptions for matching leader style to followers' development levels must be questioned. And this is where we still need further research. Now, in addition, the model does not address how demographic characteristics, all right, would affect followers' preferences for leadership. So, finally, I would say that the model does not provide guidelines for how leaders can use this approach in group settings as opposed to one context. So, guys, I hope this quick discussion or and video would be helpful for you in terms of clarifying some of your basic concepts. In case of any questions or queries, please feel free to ask. Thank you again.